Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick. Hello! Today we're having a look at Hail Caesar Imperial Auxiliaries for the Romans. I realise we haven't done any Roman videos for ages, and that's because rather than rebasing all of the figures that we had, we decided to sell all the stuff we had and buy new figures in and base that up on clear plastic bases. So we ended up with a considerable amount of empty boxes ready for the Romans to go into, but then we got tied up doing the Alamo, and then we got tied up again doing
Northern
Crusades. So we kind of got out of the Roman thing, and we really want to get back into it.
And we did slip into bolt action again.
Yeah, and we've also been doing bolt action, but we're getting back to getting the Romans in, and we realised that when we got these boxes in, we haven't actually done an unboxing of Romans.
I thought we did.
Yeah, but we have done the Conquest of Gaul unboxing.
Just a massive box with.
But all of our Romans we actually got before we started YouTube, which is a long time ago.
A year and a half ago, nearly.
Yeah. So we'll pop these out and have a look. Ooh. Right, this is the Roman Auxiliary box.
I haven't seen packing like that in ages.
No, not for a long time. You get these transfers, which is great. I'll tell you something about these transfers. They're see-through, so you could paint your shield any colour you want and then stick the transfer over the top.
I have a question.
What?
What's a transfer?
You make it wet and it comes off and you stick it on the shield.
Oh, like what kids used to do with tattoos.
Yeah, something like that. Right, so all these packs are more or less the same. I'll just pop this out for you. I've got to get into the packet now. It's a long time, yeah, you're right, since you've seen figures packed like this. I can't get in the bag.
I can't.
Seriously, I'm defeated by the bag. There we go. We're in the bag. There we go. You get 4 poses, and it does make it very hard sticking 4 figures to a base. But for medium infantry and light infantry, medium infantry, it doesn't matter because we base like that.
Aha.
This is actually one we did earlier. So that is what they're going to look like when they're finished. These have a green shield. And for medium infantry, as I said, 3 figures to a base because they also fight open order as well as closed order. So we just thought it looked better like that, and also it makes it easier basing these figures 3 to a base because they don't fit on a base very well.
When you have 4 figures to a base, it just looks scruffy.
Yeah. Whereas when you get so with all our Celts we have 4 figures to a base, 3 figures to a base, but our Roman legionaries, they're 4 figures to a base. So that is what the legions. That's what they look like painted up. You get some spears that you can stick in the hands, and a shield. Shields for everybody. Helmets, including a wounded eye chap, and they look quite good. They're quite nice little figures. But this is the coolest bit out of the box, and that is the command. Now, can we zoom in on that? Can this see it better?
I might.
Well, I'll hold it up. These are... No. Best not. Just leave it.
Yeah, it's right like that.
Right. These are the command figures. That's the officer. And you get him, and you get this chap here, and a trumpet. So you have yourself a very nice little command unit. Now, they are lead. That is not particularly a bad thing. They're very good detail figures, and you don't get them in the large box sets. If you get the large Roman army, they're all plastic. You don't get any lead in it at all. So you don't get these characters in it. But you do in these boxes. So that's why I like the smaller boxes.
You think it'd be the other way around?
Well, no, I suppose they're trying to keep the costs down.
Yeah.
Trying to think, if you can't really stick lots and lots of lead figures in a box because you would end up the box being a lot more expensive. So this way you keep the cost down. So there they are, and that's what they look like painted up. Yeah, I think they look quite good.
do look pretty cool.
Any questions?
Were auxiliaries volunteers or were they drafted into the army?
Auxiliaries were local militia, local soldiers.
It's like,
And you would usually have 2 auxiliary units raised, and one would do local police duties. So they'd be like local security, and they would be called up to fight in case that region was ever attacked by someone. Typically, areas in the middle of the Roman Empire wouldn't have auxiliaries because they're not really under threat of ever being attacked. Because people on the borders have a lot more auxiliaries. And the other auxiliaries would go out to fight, and they would be stationed all over the world. So they'd be stationed anywhere in the Roman Empire. Typically, there was an equal amount of auxiliary units to legionary units. So in your army, you should have at least half your army should be auxiliary, at least. Usually 2 auxiliary units to 1 Roman unit, but on the table you can get away with 1 auxiliary to 1 legionary.
yeah.
So you do need a lot of auxiliaries, and I do see a lot of people playing Hail Caesar with very few auxiliaries. Whereas auxiliaries were really the backbone of the army. They were the main fighting troops. Legionaries were simply the elite fighting troops. But certainly nearly all the Roman cavalry were auxiliary.
Oh yeah, I remember when we bought our cavalry, it was auxiliary cavalry.
Yeah, so nearly all Roman cavalry is auxiliary. So you're going to get a lot of that.
I guess because auxiliaries, they don't wear as much armour as legionaries.
No, auxiliaries use chainmail,
Yeah.
as opposed to segmentata, which is what the legionaries wore. It was relatively cheap, and it was usually sourced locally. So auxiliary regiments would look like the place they came from. So German auxiliaries would look like Germans. They would have German helmets, they would have German kit. The German chainmail, the wide chainmail with a strip band over the top. Gallic and British auxiliary, or Albion auxiliary, the Romans, they would wear chainmail and the Gallic helmet, which is actually what they're wearing here. It really depended where they came from. Libyan troops would typically dress as Libyans, but they were in the Libyan type uniform. They wore big long cloaks and things like that. Chainmail underneath, obviously. And there'd be a lot more bowmen as well from North Africa.
Yeah.
Typically the Romans didn't particularly like to leave too many armed locals. So the best troops would be sent away to fight for the empire. And that would mean that if there was ever a rebellion locally, the auxiliaries there wouldn't be any auxiliaries there to actually join the rebellion. So you'd have the sort of dross, the dad's army type, who could change sides, but
wouldn't last long.
Yeah, they wouldn't last long against proper soldiers. And also the auxiliaries, say if it's on the border of Germany, you raise an auxiliary legion, you send it off to fight in Judea. During a rebellion in Germany, those troops are in Judea, so they can't come and help. They're at the other side of the empire.
And they didn't know about it, so...
They were told about it, yeah. They certainly knew what was going on, and sometimes they get grumbly and refuse to fight for the Romans, in which case they'd just sit in a camp for a year and not come out. And eventually they'd re-sign up for the Roman army. Roman soldiers didn't tend to rebel because you died if you rebelled, and so did most of your family. The Romans were pretty gruesome when it came to people betraying them. Look at Spartacus.
Yeah.
Roman centurion changes sides, leads a rebellion.
It makes Spartacus look like a hero. He was just a rebel, really. A barbarian. Broke out the gladiator arena. Oh, well done.
Yeah. Spartacus it came from the region above Macedonia.
Yeah.
He would have been a legionary, a auxiliary centurion. So you're probably looking at the same sort of situation, aren't you? Local troops at home. Bear in mind, Spartacus has blown up into a big thing because it was slaves rebelling. Well, it wasn't slaves rebelling. About half the Roman army changed sides and joined the Spartacus. It was a civil war. It was a full-on civil war.
Why did they join Spartacus?
Because, well, power. You join Spartacus and you get to take over the Roman Empire.
Why?
Because the Roman Empire is shiny and has like shiny things in it and food and stuff.
So
where you come from is a hellhole.
Who was Spartacus really fighting for?
Himself. Well, at the beginning, Spartacus was fighting to save the people who were with him. There were a lot of people and the families of soldiers who joined his cause. A lot of them were slaves, and they wanted to go home. And so Spartacus defended them, and he fought all the way up to the top of Italy and said, right, we've reached the border, you can all go home now. And this huge army he had said, no, we don't want to do that. We want to overrun Rome. So they did. The entire army turned around and marched south. They skirted Rome and tried to get on boats to sail to Sicily, where they'd set up a new kingdom and then fight the Romans. But
that never happened.
No, because the Romans had more money and they bought off the pirate fleet.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, the pirates are supposed to come and pick them up, and the Romans said, "How much is Spartacus paying you?" They said, 10,000 sesterces. Here's 20,000. Go away. So the fleet never arrived to rescue Spartacus. So they ended up being a huge pitched battle, where Julius Caesar fought as a young opito.
Yep.
As a young officer, he fought there. So he could actually have seen Spartacus, which is weird when you think about it.
In the movie Spartacus, you see that battle scene, and they make the Roman leader look like a right demon.
He was. The Roman commander was an absolute nut job.
Yeah, it's because Spartacus he was a nut job.
Yeah, well, Pompey was the most accomplished Roman general. Whereas you had instead the richest guy in Rome, who simply because he was rich could afford a lot of soldiers, and he wanted to get himself famous. So,
what better way than defeat?
Yeah, so he defeated Spartacus and said, "Look, I defeated Spartacus, elect me," sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which there was a lot of stuff that was going on. Pompey wanted the glory. The other guy wanted the glory as well. There was a big rivalry between the two. And this is during a civil war, so it was a real mess. And that's probably when Julius Caesar actually met both men and went on to bigger and better things. So, after all, Julius Caesar did ask Pompey for money.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, fighting the self-same pirates.
So obviously Caesar was on Pompey's side in the Civil War.
Well, Caesar was pro-Roman, so it was on the Roman. It was on the government side during the war, the Republic.
So Pompey then.
Yeah, so it would have been on Pompey's side. But yeah, it's complicated, and I don't. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Pompey arrived afterwards. It was richest guy in Rome. What do you call him?
I know who you're talking about because normally Latin because it's just rich.
The triumvirate, the three.
Inversa.
No, the three. It made up the three. The triumvirate, which was
Pompey,
Caesar, and the rich guy.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
The most famous guy in Rome.
Yeah, that really famous guy. I can't remember his name. He funded Caesar's campaign. Caesar's political campaign. No.
Nessa, I don't know. God damn it, we should prepare our videos.
Yeah, well, we never expected to be talking about Spartacus. No, anyway, he defeated Spartacus because he wanted to make Pompey look stupid.
Yeah.
Basically. It's a long story, and hey, the Spartacus campaign is a long time ago in history, so who cares? So that's it. That's really the end of the video. You haven't got any more questions, have you? I think we've more or less done it to death. Right. So thank you very much for watching, and he does the outro.
So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think of the Roman auxiliaries. That's everything from me.
And everything from him. And I can't remember the Crassus.
That's it, Crassus.
Damn! Of course. Sorry.
Crassus.
You see, this is what happens when you don't do Romans for a while.
Crassus,
You forget
Caesar,
everything.
and Pompey. There you go.
Yeah. The triumvirate. And
Where did I get Nersa from?
Nerva, you're thinking of.
Nerva.
But that was way later. That was like 100 years later. So, right. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.